right, joined by the Jay Masterson, Brandon, Rogue Knight, blah. We saw Evil Dead 2.
Yeah.
We watched Evil Dead 2, starring the Chin.
The Chin.
And the boy Cleft Wonder.
The king.
The king of chins.
Yeah, you could say
What was
Chin
it?
King.
What was it called in Fairly Odd Parents?
The Crimson Chin.
Crimson Chin, that was it.
And Cleft, the boy Chin
Oh, there
Wonder.
was a lot of red getting on his chin today.
Oh, yes.
So,
This is vaguely a reboot / sequel of Evil Dead 1. Whoa, didn't know that was going to happen. Sorry.
yeah, so it's they basically made Evil Dead and then said, you know, we could do more with this. So they remade it as
With
Evil
more
Dead
money.
2 with more money and added more basically the events of the first Evil Dead happened within the first 10 minutes of the movie, and then they added more on the end of it.
A lot more.
And then it leads into Army of Darkness.
This is one of the weirdest film trilogies ever, just because each movie just like...
It shifts the formula a
It
little more.
only exists because of the previous movie, but also completely rewrites the events of the previous movie.
Yeah. Like, the first Evil Dead was straight horror. Evil Dead 2 is horror comedy.
Black comedy.
And Army of Darkness is action comedy.
I'll make my own movie with horror and comedy. In fact, forget the horror.
Basically.
Blackjack and hookers. And it's all held together by Sam Raimi being a very inventive and fun director, and goddamn motherfucking Bruce Campbell working his motherfucking chin off.
Yeah,
You just said Bruce Cannibal.
Like, okay,
Why not?
even if you haven't seen these movies, you've probably heard of Bruce Campbell and how awesome he is. These movies are why people think he's awesome.
He was also in a bunch of stuff in the
What was
90s.
the name of that movie where he played himself and he went to a village to fight demons because the person in the village saw Army of Darkness? Or Evil Dead?
Shit.
Don't know.
I
Or
don't
am I the
know.
only one who's seen that?
Honestly, that sounds like Army of Darkness.
No, he starred in a movie playing Bruce Campbell,
Huh.
and he was contacted by a fan of his who either saw Army of Darkness or Evil Dead and said, "Hey, I think there's demons possessing my village. Can you come help us?" And Bruce Campbell's like, "That was a movie.
So they basically...
I'm an actor."
So they made a horror version of Galaxy Quest.
Haha.
Sure.
I thought it was called Cabin in the Woods.
I mean, sure. So anyway, Evil Dead 2, you can tell they had a little bit more money, and they milked every bit of it. The props and the animation and
Some good claymation.
yeah, and the blood work was particularly of note.
Spraying out of the walls, multiple colors.
We need riot hoses and a meat grinder.
And you know, his signature weapon is his chainsaw arm, so
Yeah.
you know, that's pretty bloody.
Although I thought it was interesting, there are points in the movie where you can clearly tell that they're saying, okay, this is a horror movie with a lot of gore in it, but even we have limits. Like anytime you see him cutting someone, you know, someone's head in half, they don't show it.
Yeah, probably because that's expensive.
Probably.
But from a pacing standpoint, I really love the way this movie is structured, because it's an A story, B story for like half the movie.
Yes.
And the A story is Bruce Ash, the character's name is Ash,
I think that's it, yes.
just getting absolutely shat on by demons.
Well, that's the entire point of the Deadites is to just fuck with you before they kill you.
They are
Yeah.
they
For
are
reference,
messing
go
with
back and watch the On the Couch of Army of Darkness.
They are
We did
just-
a couple years ago.
they are just messing with his head, and it's trippy, and it hits this really interesting note where he's scared and you understand why he's scared, and it's a scary scene, but you're laughing.
Yeah, because like they get the horrifying elements, but they also have impeccable comedic timing.
Oh god, yes.
And all this time, you know, Bruce Campbell's beating the shit out of himself. He flips himself
The
head over
noise
heels.
his possessed hand makes.
Yeah.
It's so cute.
Like they knew exactly what they were doing in this movie, and they nailed it.
They do some.
Oh,
other-
they knew exactly what they were doing when A Farewell to Arms was put on.
So okay, at one point his hand becomes possessed because it got bitten. He cuts it off with the chainsaw, puts it under a bucket, and takes some books to hold it down. And the one on top is A Farewell to Arms. Like,
You know exactly what you're doing.
So and the B story is just these other people who are going to show up at the cabin later, get into the cabin, and they're literally just plot devices and
Yeah.
more murder fodder. But that first half where you're just watching this one guy slowly lose his mind, and then normal people who have not been getting fucked with all night show up, and he accidentally shoots at them, and they jump him, and they're like, "Did you murder my parents?" And it's like, you know what? I totally know why you're thinking that.
yeah, like it's a reasonable
Yeah,
conclusion.
there's a bunch of blood, and there's just a chainsaw recently been used lying over there.
And there's this weird guy, we don't know who he is, and he shot at us.
Yeah, so you
He's
know,
like, there's demons, don't throw me in the basement.
they throw him in the basement.
Let me out of the basement, there's a demon down here.
Yeah, it does the old bit of, you know, they read and find out, or no, they listen to a tape and find out about a thing, and then said thing immediately happens and becomes relevant.
Yep. Oh, this movie is just a barrel of laughs and so much fun, and
Yeah.
oh man, and it works as a horror movie. Like, it doesn't actually scare me, but like every moment that's meant to be horrific, for the most part, is nailing it.
Yeah, I
With
mean,
the exception of the ballerina dead girlfriend.
yeah,
That's a little goofy.
yeah. I definitely think this is some of. I mean, and you know, I haven't seen as much horror as any of these folks, but I think this has some of the best horror, you know, elements that I've seen in a movie. Like it's like in terms of how well it's done and how technically proficient it is, I think this is some of the best.
Like the bit where like his own reflection jumps out of the
Yeah.
mirror and
Yeah.
grabs him. Shit, I want to know how. I mean, I can kind of guess how they did that shot, but it's so fucking seamless.
It's a stunt double and a hole in the wall. What do you want?
I know, but it's so you don't fucking notice. You don't fucking notice until it attacks him. And then, of course, when he's like split screen with himself, you can see it.
Yeah.
I mean, I just got done editing on my own split screen. You can see it.
I know my favorite split screen of yours is still that one where you saw the split slowly come apart. In your Resident Evil review,
Oh, on the couch, yeah.
because the camera started falling, so you could watch the split.
Yeah, that didn't work out so hot.
You
Split
see,
screens are
what
hard,
you should
people.
do with that is you should imagine it as it's actually someone walking around with a camera saying, okay, dead bodies, and the virus starts taking them and they're slowly passing out.
Yeah, but the problem is it was a still shot. Like,
Yeah, the camera wasn't supposed to come over.
Blame the engineer.
Blame the engineer. God, yes, watch this movie.
Yes, please watch Evil Dead 2.
And you know, I would recommend this over Evil Dead 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
And
Evil Dead...
definitely over the remake from a few years
I
ago.
mean, Evil Dead, the original, is definitely worth watching, but Evil Dead 2 is the better movie.
Yeah. Evil Dead 1 is good if you're a big fan of, like, trapped in the woods, teenagers get murdered horror.
And Bruce Campbell.
Yeah, well, he's not Bruce Campbelling it up that much in the first movie.
Well, no, because this is where he started the Bruce
yeah,
Campbell.
he started to Bruce Campbell it up. But, yeah, the first one's
Also,
fine.
the first one is the one where there's that scene of someone gets a pencil shoved through their fucking Achilles tendon.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the first one is much more straight horror, and it can be a little hard to watch if you're not, like, down for, like, gruesomeness.
Also, Tree Ring.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And then Army of Darkness, Jesus Christ, that movie is just a...
It's a blast.
The skeletons!
The
Come
skellies!
on!
The Skellies! I think Yahtzee described it as a glorious celebration of boyish fantasy violence.
Yeah, and that's about accurate.
Yeah, that's about accurate. It is a little... I guess it's a little weird that they ended this horror series on a not at all horrific note. But on the other hand, everything that ruins horror is familiarity, so you might as well not try by the third
I can see
movie.
that it's PT. I can't see what the rest of it is.
It's PT. I was canceled. They need you, and it's Resident Evil 7. You must be really desperate right now.
I mean, hey, they
Fuck
basically
Konami.
fixed the franchise.
I don't know. I'll decide that one.
I'm good. Like,
Yeah,
this is a fucking good movie.
It's just so great. It's the Chin.
I mean, it should be pretty easy to find too. shouldn't it?
yeah, no, this is one of those like,
It was on Netflix for the longest time.
yeah. No, you can definitely find this in stores.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay, so-
it's definitely one you can find DVDs of.
Or I think that they've definitely Blu-ray updated this one.
I'm
that's
sure.
Yeah.
So, single best scene, Stephen, go.
It's hard.
Amber, go.
Pretty much where all of the like the chairs and the clock and everything's laughing at him, and
Yeah.
he just goes crazy.
Yeah,
Just
that's-
the look, that iconic look. You can't get that out of your head. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the image I always see. I'll tell you what. What I will pick is when he first gets the chainsaw strapped on and he has the shotgun and he just does that pan up and groovy.
Oh,
Alex, go.
no, I'm with Amber. The laughing apartment is just the best.
Oh no, I'm quite partial to where the head of his girlfriend bites his hand.
He's like slapping it against walls.
It's
That's
either
good.
that or when his hand's possessed and he's just smashing plates over his head.
Yeah, that one is
I'm
very
really
very good.
torn between those two.
Flip.
And you can see him lining up for it. Alright, we're gonna get him.
I distinctly remember in Reboot, the first time that Enzo was the Guardian after Bob got sucked into a video game or whatever, and he was saving a game world on his own. It was a send up of Evil Dead.
Huh.
Like and they go into a cabin, and the boss is a guy with Vegas haircut and a shotgun and a chainsaw, and the only line he says is groovy. And they throw the shotgun away. It slams into a wall next to the talking deer head, and the deer goes, "It's all fun and games till someone loses an eye." I don't know.
I didn't know about that.
That was my first encounter of anything Evil Dead related. A send up in Reboot.
Which I think that's probably the most ass backwards way to get there.
I didn't get the reference. I was like 5.
My first exposure to Evil Dead was actually a line from the second Duke Nukem game, where he's just like, "Hail to the king, baby." And I was watching my cousin Brian playing that once because I was still a kid, so I'm just watching.
Yeah.
And he's like, "That's actually from Evil Dead." I was like, "What's Evil Dead?" And it's like,
It's actually from the Army of Darkness. But
Yeah.
whatever. It's in the franchise.
Yeah.
The same franchise.
I know. My first exposure
Speaking
to
of
Evil Dead was when
Darkness,
she showed it
third
to
shelf.
me in. We're in a cabin up in the mountains and we're watching Evil Dead.
And it ended right as the sun came up, which
Yeah,
was
that-
amazing.
Yeah, that was great.
Hail to the king, baby.
But yeah, go get Evil Dead, watch it, enjoy it. It's amazing.
Watch the first one, watch the remake, which the credits literally say the sequel to the ultimate gruesome terror. And then go watch the fun one. Army of Darkness.
Oh, okay. Well, let's have it. Which did you prefer?
Huh?
Of this and Army of Darkness.
Oh, Army of Darkness. The skeletons sell it. The skeletons make the
The,
entire thing
the
best.
Skellies is pretty fun, but I do find Ash is a little.
I mean, come on, they're punching him, they're poking with the eye.
I find Ash is a little tiresome in the third one
I know.
when he's being an alpha.
He's really fed up with this
He's
shit.
being an alpha dick sometimes, and I'm not
Yeah,
really.
he's hamming it up.
I'm not down for that.
He's already had the Deadites fucking with him. He doesn't need these Neanderthals adding to it.
That's
Now-
the thing. He keeps calling them Neanderthals. I'm like, dude.
They are.
They're not Neanderthals. Neanderthals is literally millennia before these. Anyway,
Regardless.
we're good. Good movie. We could go off on a tangent, I'm sure.